Hey y'all, how's it growing? Welcome back to my channel. This is Everyday Gardening with Erica, and today I have a very exciting video for you. There's a lot for us to talk about, and we're going to be starting some seeds today, which is very exciting. But first, before I forget, to remind you to subscribe, hit the like button, and I always like to hear from you if you have any suggestions on things as I'm learning through this gardening experience. I could really use some tips and tricks for sure. I've learned some things the hard way, but it would be a lot easier if I was told before I learned the hard way. First thing I want to talk to you about today is really what we've been spending a lot of our time on is just getting ready for the spring, prepping and cleaning and organizing. So I didn't realize how much work needed to be done in this garden area. Even though I don't have a lot going on, I still needed to get prepped for the spring. And so one of the things that we did do is that we started our own compost bin. So you'll see in a picture or video here that we used a water container and we cut out a hole, and that way we can start throwing in our compost. We've been saving kitchen scraps, and we use a lot of the chicken bedding as we're cleaning out the chicken houses and stuff and putting it in there. I had some ash from our fireplace that I threw in there to kind of, what I've learned is it expedites the composting process. So I'm still learning the whole composting thing, but I'm very excited to try it out. Hopefully I don't screw it up. I have read and been told through many videos that I've watched that it's really not a complicated thing to do. And to be able to create your own compost, I think would be really significant. It's a must-have, right? You have a garden, you have your own compost pile to be able to compost. So that's exciting. The other thing I wanted to show you were the garden beds. So Adam's been working diligently in building these large garden beds. They're 8 foot by 4 foot, and right now we have 3 built so far, and we have 1 more that's coming. That's for sure going to be what we're going to do for the spring, and then maybe next year or the year after we'll build some more beds on the other side of the garden. But we're going to start off with 4 of the 8x4s, and then Jackson has a garden bed that's a 4x4 that he's going to be experimenting in, and then Adam wants to have a 4x4 for himself so he can make himself like a salsa garden. He likes to make a lot of fresh salsa, and that will be fun too. So there's still a lot of space to be had and used here in the garden, but we are running out of time, and it's better to have something than to have nothing at all, and we've certainly worked really hard to have what we do have. Most obviously and most exciting for me that we have done since then is the electricity in the garden shed. So I'm in the garden shed now, and you may be able to see the light that's coming down, and we have got plugs. I think we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plugs in here, and then 1 on the outside. So this is huge, right? So I needed to have the electricity in here, not just for light, for most obvious reasons, but I needed to be able to plug in those grow lights because I need to start those seeds like today. I'm maybe a little bit early, but still I needed to get that done before the planting season. So I am so grateful that Adam got that done. I knew it was hard work, but he pushed through it and we got it done. So those are the things we've been up to lately. In addition, what I have been doing is I've been eating lots of eggs. So the last time I talked to you, my chickens were not producing any eggs, and this time I have this basket full of eggs, and I'm excited to report that we have consistently been getting 6 eggs a day, which is a lot for a family of 3, and that's certainly going to increase because I have 17 chickens, and so at some point we're going to be getting 17 eggs a day. So we've thrown around a couple of ideas. You know, I do love to give the eggs to the neighbors and family and friends, people at work. But I think another idea that I've been rolling around in my head is maybe putting up a little egg stand in the front of the house and selling the eggs in the neighborhood as people, you know, want some fresh eggs. So that's kind of cool. I don't know how that will go, but I do love giving stuff, so it's nice to be able to give away eggs to people. So that's exciting. Also, I have been ordering seeds. I don't think I have any of the catalogs in here. They're all in the house. But I got the Johnny Seeds catalog, and I got another one of the Baker Creek seed catalogs, the free one. I don't order the large catalog because I don't order a lot of seeds. So, you know, maybe in a few seasons from now, as I have 8 beds and the in-ground beds, I might need to order a lot more, and I can order that that catalog that you pay for, the $9.99. But the free version is a lot too. So I've been ordering seeds as well, and I got seed trays, so I want to show you those. I got several of these seed trays, and these come with, this was a pack that came with the lid, the trays, and then like the tray that didn't have the holes in it so it retains the water. This was a pack, and I got it a pack of 10, and I think that should be enough. I didn't really spend a lot of time doing the math because I know that we're going to be planting seeds in waves. So with what I've got planned in the garden, I think it'll be okay. Also, I did plan out the space according to the 8x4 garden beds. And so I don't know if you can see this, and I'll put this a little bit closer, but this is kind of what I've been working on. Oh, let me back up a little bit. This is kind of what I've been working on to kind of do the spacing and do the math as to, you know, how many plants of this kind are going to go in this bed and spaced out and everything. So this is all the vegetables right now, and then any holes that I have, I'll probably be filling in with flowers like marigolds and zinnias and things to kind of increase the pollination. But I am so anxious to say the least about getting these seeds started. I have bought a few plants. I bought 4 grape plants that I hope to plant on the fence, the front fence of the garden. And my idea is to have a wall of grapevines and grapes on the front of the garden fence, which would be just so beautiful. And then maybe eventually putting an arch in the entrance of the fence and doing some climbing roses. Those are some plans down the road, maybe in the middle of the summer or maybe next summer. But I did get the grapes while I could get my hands on them, and I'll be planting those in the spring. I also got a Meyer lemon tree, and it's still looking a little yellow, and I don't know, it looks to me like it's a deficiency potentially. So I was thinking about throwing some compost or something material on it and giving a little bit of food so that way it can survive the pot until we get it in the ground. A lot has been happening. I've been very busy, I promise you. But today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be planting strawberries and planting some seeds. So let me show you the strawberries. I got strawberry bare roots. I have never done this before. So I have like a whole entire bag of these bare root strawberries. And from what I'm told, let me pull one of these out. They're not very pretty, I'll tell you that. But that's okay. Plants don't have to be pretty until they start sprouting their little leaves. So this is the actual strawberry plant. I don't know if you can see that. And these are these really long roots, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be planting them today. And you don't necessarily, this is again what I was told. I don't pretend to be an expert of any of this, but what I'm told is even though these roots are long, you don't necessarily have to have a pot that holds the length of these roots. You can actually just kind of bundle them up and plant them in your pots. And I'm going to be planting them into this. Let me turn the camera around here. Into this tower, the stalk tower. Okay, so I'm going to start with the base of the tower. I've already pre-filled each of these little trays with some dirt, and the dirt is actually potting soil. And I'll turn this around so you can see it. And this is the New Earth Organic Top Shelf Potting Soil. It is made in Texas. I don't know if you're out of the state, if you can get this brand, but any good organic potting soil will work perfectly. Just make sure that it is very loose. You can see that this has that perlite and potentially some vermiculite in here, but it's a nice loose soil. So what I understand, the strawberries do not like compacted soil. And so this looks really good to me, and I'll get to planting these guys in here. So here's the strawberry. I'm just gonna pull this back and bundle these little roots. Oh wait, this guy's a little piece here. Bundle these little roots, and then I'm gonna stick it in the dirt and throw some dirt around it. Just from what I'm understanding is make sure that this little strawberry plant here is sticking up at the top of the soil, okay? Because if you bury this too much, then it won't thrive. So I don't know what these things are. If you know, please comment if this is something that I can remove, or do I leave it? I'm just gonna leave it for now because I'm not sure and I'm not an expert. Okay, here's another one. This has a lot of roots. Still has some of the old leaves on it. So I'll get the roots together, pull it aside, bundle these little roots, and throw in some dirt, push some dirt around it. I'm probably gonna need a little bit more dirt in here, it looks like. My idea is with this stalk planter is that these strawberries are gonna hang over the sides and it's gonna look really pretty. So let me go ahead and jump to planting everything. Well, okay, so I finished planting the stalker. By the way, please forgive the noise in the background because we've got some construction going on next door. But I finished planting the stalker and I got all the bare roots in here. I had got, well, I ordered 15 of them, but it looks like I may have gotten 16 and a half. I know what I mean by a half. This was like a baby one that I stuck in here at the top. But I wanted to make sure that they all were nicely placed in these holes or these openings so that way they had room to grow. Ideally, they're going to grow and the strawberries will hang over. And then I got this weird one over here at the bottom that has these little string things. So I have to admit, I've never done this before or worked with the bare roots. These are ugly little plants right now. It's going to be hard to believe that this will grow into these beautiful strawberries, but I'm hopeful. I think they look a little suspicious right now, or as my son says, a little sus, because he plays that game. But I'm going to water these in and give them a little sunshine. Maybe say a little prayer over them to make sure that they've got the TLC that they need to thrive. And I will keep you posted as these things grow. I hope these things grow. I really want some strawberries. Okay, well, let's move on to the next exciting. Okay, let's jump right into some seed starting. So I'm excited to do this. I've been thinking about this ever since we decided to put our home up for sale, and it has been 2 growing seasons now, and it's been a long time coming. Let's just put it that way. So that's what the big push has been for, because I really need to start getting that ready in time for the spring. So I want to go over the seeds with you, what I'm planning on growing, or at least what we're going to be starting today. Remember, I am growing in zone 8B. I am living in the South Texas area, so our growing season is a lot longer. Our last frost date was March 22nd. And so if you do the math, it's typically about January 24th to February 1st. Now, I am actually doing this today on the 17th of January. 1, because I'm anxious. 2, because I want to make sure that I'm doing everything right and things are coming along. And I figure a week early is not going to be terrible. And so why not, right? Okay. So before I jump into the seeds and show you what I am going to be starting today, I wanted to point out to you what I'm going to be working with. This is a Burpee organic seed starting mix. This is that coconut coir that you probably have heard about. It's an all natural ingredient that if you look on the back here, and I'll try to bring it forward, you can see that, oh, I'm always too far out of focus. Okay, so here is where you put it into a container, you add water, and then it's supposed to expand. This says it expands to 8 quarts in 2 minutes. So that's about the time that it's going to take for me, if not more, to go over the seeds that I'm planning on sowing today. So before we get started, let's start this process first. So I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see. And I'm looking down at my phone so I can make sure that everything's in frame. And I'll point this down. Okay, so I have this container. This is what I'm going to expand the seed starting mix in. So let me pop this open, hopefully. There we go. So it's like a compressed brick material. Once you add the water, it will expand pretty quickly. How much water you add, I don't know, honestly. Does it even say? Let's see. Nope, doesn't tell you. So we'll just wing it. That seems like a good start. As it starts to expand, I'll probably help it along and breaking it up. It's already, look at that. It's already starting to expand. So we'll let it do its thing. Oh, I didn't think about this. No. Here, I'll just wipe it on my jeans. This is what I'm going to be using to mix the coconut coir, and then I'm probably going to also be mixing in with some soil as well, some compost, and a little bit of potting soil. So let's turn the camera back around again. So let's jump into the seeds that I'm hoping to start all today, which is pretty aggressive. All right, let's start with the most fun, which is the tomatoes. I have here the tomato beefsteak. I got these for Christmas from a coworker. This is black Krim tomato. It's really pretty. I have a yellow pear. Now I've grown these last season in containers, and this was the coolest tomato, cherry tomato I've ever eaten. First off, they're sweet. They have the coolest shape. They're really pretty. It was prolific, even in containers. I grew some of these and shared them with friends, and they, planted them in the ground. Some of them planted in pots. They said this was one of their favorites. So I'm excited to plant those again. I have not tried to plant a tomatillo, but this was really intriguing to me because it was purple, and I hope that they're delicious. I've never tried these before, but I was really interested in trying those. I have a Dr. Witchy's yellow. It did not go very well for me last season. Again, remember I was planting in containers, so it was a little bit more challenging, but I'm hoping this year I'll get these. And then the Creole, I got a couple of tomatoes with these, but I'm going to be growing a lot of these because I want to try some canning this year. I think these would be great with salsa, and I've heard these are really great for canning, so hopefully these will turn out. So that's my tomato stack. Now let's jump into peppers. Peppers are really big here in South Texas. Jalapenos, it's in this little container here, but jalapenos are definitely a staple. We do a lot of salsa with these. We cook all the time with these in various recipes. So I'm going to be planting a lot of those. And then the serranos, last year we did pretty decent, but I don't think that it was as good as it could have been again in the containers. It was okay. I'm hoping that this year will be a little different considering that I have the large raised beds. Last year I did plant the California Wonder. I saved the seeds and put them in a little baggie here. I really enjoyed growing these. They were fun because they're so large. They were delicious. And I got quite a few bell peppers out of my little container. So I am happy to be replanting these. In addition to the California Wonder bell pepper, which are green, by the way, they're the traditional green bell peppers, I picked up these orange sun bell peppers, and I really hope that these turn out too. I figure with the orange and the green, it'll just be a nice colorful display in salads and things like that. And then the other favorite of ours is the shishito peppers. So the shishito peppers, man, these things grew like crazy in the containers. I can't even imagine the performance they're gonna have in the raised beds. But they gave off so many peppers. I swear almost every night, or at least every other night, we were pulling peppers off these plants. and we were blistering them. That's how we like to eat them, and dipping them in like a chipotle sauce. But they were so good. This is fun in the summertime. So I'm excited about putting those together again. All right. Now, when it comes to herbs, I have only grown one herb so far in my life. When I say grow, I mean grow from seed. I've bought herb starts, but not growing from seed. And that is these purple basil plants. So I got this, if you've seen any of my previous videos, when I ordered Baker Creek seeds 2 seasons ago, they sent this a free purple basil packet, and I grew some, and it was the best, most fragrant basil I've smelled in a long time. We actually dehydrated it, dried it up, and we put it into a little bottle, and we cook with it. And Adam has told me, you got one of the requirements this season is that I grow more of this purple basil, so I'll be planting lots of that. Then we have the traditional sweet basil. I always enjoy the sweet basil for a lot of recipes. I got these packets are a little different looking, but this is lavender. So I'm gonna grow some lavender. I've heard it's really good by the chicken coop. I've heard it's good in the garden beds. So I don't know. I've never grown lavender before, so I'm kind of interested to see the different uses that I'll be able to get out of that. Cilantro is a staple, and we have cilantro here primarily for salsa, but I like cilantro in my quesadillas and a lot of other recipes. So hopefully this will, the only thing that it doesn't say on this packet of this is a slow bolting cilantro. It gets very, very warm here. So I hope that we can get some cilantro before it does bolt. I have some dill here, thinking of pickling, and then some parsley, Italian parsley, again for cooking reasons. So that's my herb pile. And then I also have some lettuces. I want to grow some arugula here. I don't know what this is. It's a lettuce, but I don't know what it looks like. It's called Paris Island, so I want to try that. Love kale. This is another staple. Kale is great for smoothies. It's great to cook with and saute. The chickens love kale. Lots of kale. This is a tall Utah improved celery, so I want to grow some celery and see how that turns out. I don't know, but I tried to plant some in the ground and that didn't work out very well. This is a ruby leaf lettuce. And then last, spinach. This is a giant noble spinach. So I'm excited about that. And then last, but certainly not least, I do want to start growing some flowers this year. And again, I have not done flowers from seed. So I love flowers. I think they're pretty. I think they bring me a lot of joy. Ultimately, my goal is to have a cut flower garden. And so this is a great way to start, I think, is to start growing them and seeing how they, well, let me put it this way. Let me see what I learned from all of this. Okay, so the flowers here are snapdragons. Put those up. And then this, I just got this because it was so pretty on the packet. Celosia, and it's flamingo. It's an annual, and it's got this like wispy pink top to it. It's so pretty. We got some lupins. Very pretty. This one is a heliotrope marine color. It says that it's going to take a really long time. It says you're supposed to do it 10 to 12 weeks before your last frost date. So I'm probably a week or two behind on this one, but look at how pretty this is. These big old heads of flowers. And then I have some daisies here that I'll throw in there. The only thing I'm missing is marigolds. I guess I don't have any marigold seeds. If I did, I'll be planting a bunch. If I find some, I'll plant some. So that's what I got going so far. So let's go ahead and turn the camera around and check on our coconut coir and start mixing away if it's ready. Okay, it looks like I need to add more water. I guess I didn't talk enough about seeds because now I need to wait a little bit longer. Should be using a little hand tool here, but it's so much more fun to get dirty sometimes, you know, especially when you've missed planting and getting dirty and playing in the garden. There's just something nice about getting dirty. Okay, so while that is finishing up, I am going to get a little bit more water, which, by the way, this is not, I didn't purchase this water because there's something special about getting distilled water or spring water. This is just a container that I'm recycling, so I fill it up from the faucet and then I use it as a container. So nothing special there. Don't worry. You can use regular old tap water. All right, I got smart. I got myself a little tool here. Everything is mixed up really nice. The water absorbed and broke everything down. So as you can see, it's nice and fluffy. And this is the same as, or used the same as, peat moss is used to lighten the soil. So I'm gonna get this container here and I'm gonna put a little bit of this mixed in with the potting soil, and I'm gonna add just a little bit of the mushroom compost. I'm not gonna do a lot. This is actually locally sourced. It's called Landscaper's Pride Mushroom Compost. But primarily I'm going to be using the potting soil and the seed starting mix. So I will jump to it. It's kind of a little bit challenging to get through these big bags, but I wanted you to see the process. I'm going to need a lot more than that. Come on now. Oh! I have a lot of seeds to mix. Okay. That looks good. Okay. And I will mix this in. Get a good amount in there. I might add a little bit more depending. And then I need to get some of okay, just a little bit. I don't want too much. Okay, so I'm gonna get to mixing. Okay, I feel like, honestly, I just need to use my hands. It's like when you're baking and cooking and stuff, it's just better just to use your hands. Then you can gauge what you need to add. So I feel like we need a lot more of the coconut coir in here. We'll just dump the rest of it. I need to use all of it anyway. It's a lot of seed starting mix. All right, so this looks really nice. It's hard to probably see in the camera, but it's very fluffy, very airy. It's just got a really nice texture to it. There's a couple of ways that I've seen people put the trays together, like put the dirt in the trays. One of the methods I'd like to try, but I'm not going to be able to this time, is when you put the dirt into the cells, water it down just a little bit, knock it a couple of times so it settles, put your seeds in, and then put on top your second layer that covers the seeds. That was pretty neat. I'm not gonna be able to do that because I don't really have a setup where I can get a hose and water everything down. The other common methods are to get your mix together and then get it nice and moist like this is, where it can be kind of pushed into a little ball. And then put it into the seed cells and just kind of press down a little bit. So that's what we're going to be doing today with this soil. I didn't wear gloves, but that's okay. I kind of like this better anyway. All right, I just wrapped up all of the seeds, and I wanted to show you what they look like on the seed trays and on the shelf. So let me turn the camera around so you can take a look. So here is where I do all of the seed trays, and I have my grow lights here. I'll turn them on here in a second so you can take a look. Now remember I said I bought 10 packs of these containers, and I was really only able thus far to fill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So I still have 5 more And that'll be good because it leaves me some room for some of the other, like the cucumbers and beans and okra and some of those that really need to be planted more closer to the 4-week mark. So that's good that we have more room, and then I can double any that I feel like I need more of. So here are this is a quick peek of what it looks like. I've got the tomatoes in here, they're labeled, and I've got this top on here to create some condensation and humidity. It does get a little chilly in here at night. I have a heater ordered in case it gets too cold, but it has been consistently during the day staying at 70, you can't see it, but 74 degrees Fahrenheit. And so hopefully I'll keep an eye on it, but if it gets too cold, that heater will come in and we can warm it up in here. So got the seeds ready to go. I did do a little experiment on the bottom here. What I did was I took one of these old salad trays that you buy at the grocery store with the mix, and I planted some lettuce seeds. Now I did not actually poke holes at the bottom like I should have, so I'll just have to keep an eye on it, make sure that it's not too dry and it's not too wet. We'll see how that goes. Okay, well, I'm gonna turn on the grow lights. They don't need the lights when they haven't sprouted yet, but because I don't know how often I'm gonna be able to come out here and check on them, there may be a really fast grower and I wanna make sure that the light is ready to go. It will be on a timer soon as well, so I'll have the lights go on probably during the day, and then at night we'll do a complete darkness for rest. But I have the lights here. I used these last year and the year before, and I have these a lot closer. I learned this the hard way, but originally I had them really high, and then my plants ended up being real leggy because they were trying to grow close to the light and it was too far away. So I bought these straps that help lower the lights down, and now you can see I have them a lot closer. All right. So that wraps up today's video. Thank you guys for joining me and watching me get the seeds together and listening to our updates on what we've got going on in the garden. We're so excited to start seeing some of these plants sprout up. So stay tuned so we can keep you updated. Until next time, take care guys. Bye-bye.